And welcome to GoFor Lunch. Glad to have you here today. So we're going to be talking about how to use your iPhone in an emergency. This is GoFor Lunch number 77. And here we are trying to make your technology work for you. If you're new here, please type new in the comments so we can get to know you and welcome you into our community. I'm Roger Harmon, and I've been helping people with their Apple and related technology for many moons now. So let's see what we can learn here today. So we featured this in the Gopher Gazette, our weekly newsletter. It comes to you every Monday morning about 7 o'clock. If you are not on that, or you know somebody that would like to learn more about their Apple products, then let me know and we'll add them to our mailing list. So the premise here is that you are stuck somewhere. You could be in your car, you could be out hiking, and your battery is really low on your iPhone. And you have this premonition that somebody's not going to find you before the battery dies. So what you can do while your phone is still working is you can set up a voicemail greeting on your phone. And the reason that will work is because the voicemail is at the cellular carrier, not in your phone. Okay? So that's why this little technique can work for you. So let us find out how you do that. So in your phone, you go to the phone app and you select voicemail. We're going to go through and do this in real time here in a second, so don't worry about how exactly to do it. And then you go to greeting and custom, and then we always want to make sure that our brain is in gear before we put our mouth in motion when we're recording a new greeting. In other words, know what you're going to say. Don't hit record and then say, just hit it and know exactly what you're going to say and say it. Okay? So let's just do that, shall we? So we're going to switch over to our iPhone. This is an iPhone running iOS 14, the latest version, before the new version, which is iOS 15. So we're going to go to Settings. Then we're going to scroll down here, and I guess when you put on Do Not Disturb, LinkedIn doesn't respect that. So you can see we're going down quite a ways. So in the section that starts with passwords, at the very bottom of that section, now here in the middle is Health. This is the Health app. Okay? But I'm getting confused here. That's not where we want to go. Let's try that again. We want to go to the Phone app, which is the green rectangle with a white phone. And then in the lower right-hand corner, we have Voicemail. And we click on the Voicemail. And we're in Voicemail already. In the upper left-hand corner, it says Greeting. You see that? Just below the time. Now, if you're wondering why the time says 9:41, that's because that was the time that the first iPhone was introduced. So anytime I connect my iPhone to my computer, it shows the time as 9:41. So a little Apple trivia there for you. So we're going to tap on Greeting. And you see we have two choices for greetings. We have a default greeting or we have a custom greeting. So it had to download the custom greeting from the cellular carrier. That's why you saw the little gear going around there briefly. And then below that, we have two other choices. We have the play, so we can play our existing greeting, and we have record. I am stranded on the backside of Mount Lemmon. My GPS coordinates are, please send help. Okay, so there's my emergency message. I hit stop, But there's one other step we have to do here, and that is in the upper right hand corner. We have to hit save. So now it says saving greeting at the very top there, and now we're back into voicemail, and that's how you do that. So you notice there that I said I was going to give them the exact coordinates. Well, how do I find out the exact GPS coordinates where I am when I'm out in the wilderness or out on a lonely stretch of highway? Well, to pinpoint your exact location, you use an app that is already on your iPhone. It's the Compass app. So not only does the Compass app show you where you're going, like a regular old compass, but it also gives you your GPS coordinates. So you would go to the Compass app first. You would get your GPS coordinates. You might want to write those down. Of course, always when you leave town, you want to have a notebook and a pencil, or a pen. Probably a pencil is best because it can't run out of lead. So you could write that down in your little notebook with your pencil, and that will give you the exact latitude and longitude of your location. And then you would say those GPS coordinates in your voicemail greeting so that people would know where you are. So there's lots of other apps that you can get in the App Store for free or for a fee that will give you your GPS coordinates. This one is one that I had on my phone. I'm not recommending it because it kept locking up while I was preparing for this presentation. So I just wanted to show I'm using this for privacy purposes, but it works the same way on the Compass app. So it gives you the date and the time in Greenwich Mean Time. So you subtract 7 from that to get local time. And don't let this confuse you. What they are doing here is they're giving you your GPS coordinates in 3 different ways. So these are all the same coordinates, just stated in 3 different ways. On your Compass app, it's going to show up here as, I believe this is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is stated as 32 hours, 11 minutes, and 39.9 seconds. So you have 2 GPS coordinates, one for west and one for north in this case, I think. So that would be those coordinates that you would record in your message, and that way your rescuers would know exactly where you are. So preparation is always a good thing to do before you take off on any kind of a journey, and part of that preparation, besides your little notebook and your pencil, would be a battery pack, so your phone doesn't run out of power. So if you're traveling, or if you're hiking, or if you're boating, you should bring along a battery pack. So this is an example of a battery pack made by a company called Anker, A-N-K-E-R, which is a brand that's highly regarded in the Mac community. And you want to get one that has the capacity to charge your phone probably 3 or 4 times. And you also would like to get one that has multiple inputs. You can get them with, so this one has 2 USB-A inputs. The USB, micro USB here is for charging, and then there's a USB-C here on the end. So depending on what devices you have, you may want to get a different combination of inputs, but they have all the ones that you would need. So this will charge your phone. It has a battery, and that would be something that would be very handy to have in any of these situations. So another thing that you can do that's already built into your phone is set up emergency contacts. So to do that, you go into Settings, you select Emergency SOS, and then you set up your emergency contacts in your Health app. So also in your Health app, you will have lots of different information about you, and then you will select one or more people in your contacts list to be notified in case of an emergency. So let's do that. I'm going to switch over here to another iPhone, and it's telling me that I need to update the software if I wanted to do something with that phone, which I don't. Okay, so here we go. So here is our iPhone. Now this is running on iOS 15.1, which is the latest version of iOS. So if it looks a little different, that's why. So you can see here we have the settings, the little gears and concentric circles. We tap on settings, and then I'll just go to the top so you can get oriented here. So here's what you would normally see. Then you can see we've got section number 1 that starts with airplane, section number 2 starts with notifications, section number 3 starts with general, and all the way down here in section number 5, we'll call this, that starts with passwords. At the very bottom of that section is the health app. It's a white background with a red heart. We select that, and then we go into our health details. So this is all your health details that if you haven't set that up, you should set that up. And then the other section here that you want to work on is your medical ID. This is the real important one. So we click on medical ID, and it tells you that it provides medical information that may be important in an emergency, like allergies and medical conditions, and the medical ID can be accessed from the emergency dialer without unlocking your phone. So without unlocking your phone is the key here. So we go back to the phone, we click in the blue, create medical ID, and then you would fill in this information if you already have it. So I know a lot of you don't like to see your picture, but it would be very important to put a picture right here, because maybe you have somebody else's phone and the first responder is pulling out a phone that doesn't belong to you, and if you have a picture in there, they can tell immediately, you know, this is a man and this picture is a woman or whatever, and they'll know that this information on the phone is not you. So a picture would be very helpful for the first responder to identify you positively. So you would add your date of birth, medical conditions, any other medical notes, allergies, medications, your blood type, height, weight, and your language. And now we're down to the emergency contact. Okay, so we would click here on emergency contact, and then it goes to your contacts list. Now when I'm in trouble, I want the fastest person possible to come to my aid. So that would be Robbie Roadrunner. So I'm going to click on Robbie Roadrunner. And again, you have to have people in your contacts in order to do this. So here's Robbie, and we're going to say that Robbie is a friend. Okay, so you can see here in blue it says friend, Robbie Roadrunner. Now we have the blue add emergency contact here again. So we don't have to limit ourselves to one contact. And frankly, it would be a good idea to put like 2 or 3 in, because, you know, the first one might not be able to be reached. So make sure you put more than 1 in there. Now, the key thing here is, as we look down here below, it says emergency access. And you need to show this with the green, with a little circle to the right which shows up at green. Show when locked. Okay? And then we're going to click on next up here in the upper right hand corner. And then we're going to, we see here, we confirmed that Robbie is our emergency contact. There's Robbie's phone number. The emergency access show when locked is enabled. Okay, and we're going to click done in the upper right hand corner. Okay, so now we are going to go out here And we are going to hit the power button on the right hand side to close the phone. And then we're going to, of course, okay, we're going to try that again. I use this as a Touch ID phone, and when my Touch ID is working great. So I need to touch it with a finger that doesn't have Touch ID. Okay. So now, if, okay, it's not wanting to, okay, got to touch it with a finger that doesn't have Touch ID. And then if I keep, okay, so if you swipe from right to left, it gives you the camera. Hi there. And if I go back and hit the home button, I'm trying to get the emergency contact to come up here. So it's not cooperating with me. So they may have changed something in iOS 15. I didn't actually try this out in rehearsal. Okay, well that's the way it's supposed to work. So let me try it on my other phone here, just to see. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to block the Face ID as I turn on the phone. Actually, we'll let you see what I'm doing here. So here's my iPhone with iOS 14. There's my other iPhone that has 15. So I'm going to touch the screen, swipe from left to right, I get my widgets. Right to left, I get my camera. And swipe up. It's looking for Face ID. I'm not letting, here we go. Okay. So I don't know why it's not working here. So let's switch our phones. And I will show you. The wonders of live video. Okay, so we're going to turn this phone off. We're going to switch to this phone. And we're going to shield the Face ID sensor. Okay, so there's the phone. And it can't see my face. So, let's see, you can see the flashlight. I don't want notification center. Okay, here we go. All right, so now you see in the lower left-hand corner, it says emergency. Everybody see that in the white lettering, lower left-hand corner? So now I click on emergency, and in the lower left-hand corner, we see asterisk medical ID. We click on that, and there it is. So now we can hit done, and now my face, well, that's interesting. It's talking to me in different languages up here in the top. You see that? In red above the 2. I never noticed that before. So no matter where you are, it's going to tell you about the emergency ID. That's, I guess that's the SOS. We don't want to hit that because that will call emergency services no matter where you are. Okay, so that's the way that works. So there's another thing that some of you may be aware of, and that is called ICE, which means in case of emergency. So back in the olden days of iPhones, you were told to put ICE in somebody's name in your contacts, and then a emergency responder would be able to contact that person. However, it only works on phones that don't have any kind of password or Touch ID or facial recognition. And you shouldn't have a phone that doesn't have those things. So it's your external brain. You need to keep your phone secure. So the ICE thing doesn't work anymore. and it's been replaced with what we just talked about. So now let's see what kind of questions you guys might have. So I see we have Phil and Bob and Leslie Ann. And let's see what we got as far as questions. Leslie Ann was speaking in some language here. And she's actually there. Oh, where is there in more terms that we could recognize, Leslie Ann? Oh, now there's a great idea. Phil says he has a solar charger. So how does that work, Phil? Does it take very long to charge? I know the smaller solar panels can take like a whole day to get enough juice to do a charge for your phone. And Bob is asking, I was afraid somebody was going to ask, I think the capacity of an iPhone is 1500 milliamps. So twice that would be 30, and 3 times that would be 4,500 milliamps. So if you got one that was in that range, a little higher, I think that would charge your phone 3 times. So Phil is saying, I do want to share my data with Apple or not. So that's not sharing your data with well, that's a good question. It would share your data with Apple if you were in any of Apple's health studies. But other than that, the information is staying on your iPhone, Phil, and just available there for first responders. That beautiful background, as in all of my beautiful backgrounds in the last month or two, is in Big Sur. I haven't taken the time to find backgrounds from Monterey. Interesting, somebody mentioned today on office hours, the Zoom meeting I'm on every morning, that the wallpaper on Monterey does not show a picture of Monterey. It just shows a colorful design, which is kind of interesting. And Bob, who is such a wise person, noted that solar charging takes longer at night. So Leslie Ann was lost in the bush in Australia when the phone went down to 2%. Luckily, she ran into a couple who turned her in the right direction. So there you go, a real life account. And so where in the world are you, Leslie Ann? Yep, Bob had a good point. And Susan knows a lot about solar, so she's verifying your remarks there. So please pass these life-saving techniques on to your friends and family by forwarding that Gopher Gazette that comes to you every Monday morning about 7 o'clock, which has all the links that they can just click on and get right to the replay of this video, which reminds us that all of these Gopher Lunch lives are archived on the Gopher Technology YouTube channel. So you can go back and you can search by topic, and you can find any of these and watch them to refresh your memory. And of course, if you subscribe, then you will know about our YouTube lives. And if you click on the little bell, which is down here next to subscribe, then you will be notified when we go live, which is mainly just once a week. So subscribe, help others to improve their safety. Right? Am I right? Okay. Oh, you are actually... okay. So thank you for that clarification, Leslie Ann. She is telling us that we should have peace unto us. And I think that's a great thing to say to anybody. So Phil says it can take time on your solar charger, but you can plug in your phone when it's getting low and it will give you almost a full charge very fast. Oh, okay, that's great. So some solar chargers have a battery. Does yours have a battery built in as well as the solar panel, Phil? So that's something that you might want to look at for a solar charger, is that it actually has a battery pack, and so you can have it charging the battery pack while your phone is being used elsewhere. So that would be something to look at in the solar charger. I do have a solar charger that has 2 panels about yay. And so be prepared. I'm a Boy Scout. I'm always prepared. Well, great. Thank you all for coming. I hope this has been helpful, and if you have any questions about how to set up your phone for these emergency situations, then let me know. You can contact me at the phone number and the email address that's coming to your screen right now. Take care.